Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube video Echo Aftab. In my today's class, I'll be continuing with a video for my mathematics series. As in the last session of mathematics series, we had spoken about Cobb-Douglas production function, and I had said that in my next video, I'll be starting with constant elasticity of substitution production function. So here I am with constant elasticity of substitution production function, myself Aftab Bhai. So without wasting time, let us move ahead to understand what is CES production function. So there are certain prerequisites that are required to understand about this topic. You need to have the basic knowledge of the following concepts. The first is you need to know what do you mean by indifference curves or what do you mean by isoquants. Indifference curves is related to consumption and isoquants are related to production. And you need to know what is marginal rate of substitution or marginal rate of technical substitution. Again the same, marginal rate of substitution is related to indifference curves and marginal rate of technical substitution is related to isoquants. You also need to know what is the concept of elasticity. That is, you need to know what do you mean by elasticity and calculation of elasticity and the formula of calculating elasticity. With these basic concepts, it will be easy for us to understand constant elasticity of substitution production function. Introduction. The constant elasticity of substitution production function was introduced by Solow and later it was popularized by Arrow, Chenery, Minhas. It is also called as SMAC production function, that is Solow, Minhas, Arrow and Chenery production function. This particular production function was developed by these four economists, and about this particular production function you can see it was highlighted in the Review of Economics and Statistics in 1961, and here you can see the names. The title of the paper was Capital, Labor Substitution and Economic Efficiency. So here friends, you can see here you can see two competing alternatives hold the field at present. That is in 1961 when they had written this paper in 1961 August. What they were saying, one was of Walras Leontief Harrod Domer assumption of constant input coefficients, and the other was Cobb-Douglas function, which we have studied in the previous class, which implies a unitary elasticity of substitution. That is, unitary it refers to is equal to 1 between labor and capital. So from a mathematical point of view, 0 and 1 are perhaps the most convenient alternatives for the elasticity. This was what was existing at that time, and it was these four economists which brought a new turn for us to understand about production function. So here let us go ahead and see what this production function is. So first let us try to understand what is elasticity of substitution. When you speak about elasticity of substitution, here friends, the formula is very simple. Elasticity of substitution is equal to percentage change in K by L divided by percentage change in MRTS. So what is this MRTS? When you speak about MRTS, for those who are new to this concept, MRTS, it is nothing but it is with regard to the ratio of change in capital to the ratio of change in labor. So change in amount of capital, that is for 1 unit increase in labor, how many, sorry, for 1 unit increase in labor, how many units of capital you need to give up. That is what is change in labor and change in capital. This is what is MRTS. So elasticity of substitution measures the sensitivity of the firm's capital labor ratio. So here this particular part is telling us about capital labor ratio to the changes in the price of labor to price of capital ratio. Friends, I would just like to highlight what is this. In equilibrium position, MRTS is equal to marginal rate of technical substitution is equal to the ratio of factor prices. That is what it is, factor prices. So when I speak about factor prices, labor gets wages and capital gets interest. So this particular thing can also be written as percentage change in the ratio of capital to labor divided by percentage change in price of labor divided by price of capital. So here friends, this same thing, it can be told in the terms of factor prices, or else it can also be told in terms of change in capital to change in labor, or else it can also be told as marginal product of capital to marginal product of labor. These are the different ways of telling the same thing. But actually what this percentage change in capital labor ratio tells is percentage change in capital labor ratio. This we can write it as change in capital labor ratio divided by what was the original capital labor ratio, the whole divided by change in marginal rate of technical substitution between labor and capital divided by the original marginal rate of technical substitution. So this is what is elasticity of substitution formula. So when you speak about elasticity of technical substitution, elasticity of substitution, the formula is clear. So here friends, if the percentage change in capital labor ratio is 1 and the percentage change in MRTS is also 1, then what we get is elasticity of substitution is equal to 1. This is what is the main crux of this particular topic. So elasticity of substitution is also noted as sigma. So with this basic understanding about the formula of elasticity of substitution, we will go ahead and try to understand the later part. Elasticity of substitution tells us how easy it is to substitute inputs. If it is easy to substitute capital and labor, we have high elasticity of substitution. If it is tough to substitute, we have low elasticity of substitution. The constant elasticity of substitution production function is expressed as follows. Q is equal to lambda into the bracket theta k raised to minus p plus 1 minus theta l raised to minus p, the whole raised to minus 1 by p. Don't get panicked with this thing. It's a very simple formula. So here I can rewrite it as A into the bracket alpha k raised to minus p plus beta L raised to minus p the whole raised to minus 1 by p. So this is what is CES production function. Friends, if you remember Cobb-Douglas production function, in Cobb-Douglas production function it was A, which is here, then comes K, which is here, raised to alpha, and L, which is here, raised to beta. So what it was saying, if alpha plus beta gives us the value 1, it is constant returns to scale, and if it is more than 1, it is increasing returns to scale. If it is less than 1, it is decreasing returns to scale. This is what was Cobb-Douglas production function. Now the change over here is this thing has come here and this thing has come here. Then what is the new thing that you can see over here? It is this P. This is with regard to technology, with a given level of technology. So in both the production functions we are having technology A, here it is given as lambda. We are having capital and labor, here also there is capital and labor. This is telling, alpha is telling about the proportion of capital and beta is telling about the proportion of labor, that is here alpha and beta. Then what is the new thing that you can see here? The new thing is this particular parameter which is called as rho. So rho is here, here and here. So this rho is what is called as substitution parameter. So this substitution parameter plays a very important role for us to understand CES production function. So I hope it is clear for you all. Going ahead, here lambda is efficiency parameter, that is with regard to the technology. If the production function has to shift, then the lambda has to change. If the lambda increases, production function shifts upward. If lambda decreases, the production function shifts downward. That is with regard to the technology. Here, this delta is distribution parameter, which is always in between 0 and 1. That is what amount of capital is required and what amount of labor is required. Rho is the substitution parameter, which will be always equal to or greater than 1. So these are the three important parameters that we are having. One is technology, the other is share of capital and labor, and the third one is the substitutability between capital and labor. So the first one is change in efficiency parameter causes a shift in the production function as the result of technological change. So in few books this lambda is given as A. Then comes the distribution parameter. Delta indicates the relative importance of capital and labor, or what amount of capital and what amount of labor is used. This is the distribution parameter. And lastly, the substitution parameter rho indicates the substitution possibilities in the production processes. It determines the elasticity. So here you can see sigma. So it is the substitution parameter rho. It is the substitution parameter rho that determines what will be the elasticity. Now we know the formula of elasticity. In the previous slides we have seen it. By deriving or by rearranging that formula, we get to know the relationship between substitution parameter rho and elasticity of substitution, that is sigma, and this is shown with the help of the following formula. So elasticity is equal to, that is sigma is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus P. So here P, as you know, rho, it is rho. As you know, rho is our substitution parameter. So we are seeing the link between elasticity, that is sigma, and rho, that is substitution parameter. So here, if rho is equal to 0, our elasticity is equal to 1. How is it possible? Simple. If you, in the formula, if you go on for replacing the value of rho with, here this value of rho with 0, you will get 1 upon 1 plus 0, that is equal to 1 upon 1, and that is 1. So if rho is 0, our elasticity is equal to 1. If rho is infinite, then elasticity is 0. That is, you can see over here, if rho is infinite, 1 upon 1 plus infinity, 1 upon 1 plus infinity will be equal to 0. So that is what is over here. If our rho is infinite, elasticity is 0. And lastly, if rho is negative 1, then our elasticity will be 1 upon 1 minus 1, that is equal to 1 upon 0, and that is equal to infinity. So here we can say that the value of rho will always be between 0 to infinity. So therefore the value of elasticity varies from 0 to infinity. So now we have understood the constant elasticity of substitution production function, how it is formed, and in that what is the role of substitution parameter rho. And now in this slide we understood what is the relationship between elasticity and the substitution parameter rho. So going ahead, in Cobb-Douglas production function, elasticity of substitution is constant and equal to 1. That is, the elasticity of substitution is unitary. But in constant elasticity of substitution, the elasticity of substitution is constant but not equal to 1. If it is equal to 1, it is the special case of CES and it is called as Cobb-Douglas production function. So if you see here, in constant elasticity of substitution, sigma is constant but not equal to 1. If it is equal to 1, it is called as Cobb-Douglas production function, and this Cobb-Douglas production function is a special case of constant elasticity of substitution production function. So let us take a case. If this is an isocount, and what does an isocount represent? Isocount represent different combinations of labor and capital. Different combinations of labor and capital producing same amount of output. This is what is isocount is. Now see here, in constant elasticity of substitution, as we move on the isocount on any 2 points, so these are the 2 points, what will happen? The elasticity is constant, that is, the elasticity won't change. So this is one case. The next case is Cobb-Douglas production function. Here in Cobb-Douglas production function, it is a special case of constant elasticity of substitution, and here elasticity of substitution is equal to 1. Now if you see both the slides, I will go back. In constant elasticity of substitution, what we are saying is the elasticity of substitution is constant. The elasticity of substitution may be 0.66, the elasticity of substitution may be 0.50, the elasticity it may be 0.87, it can be anything, but at every level the elasticity won't change, it is going to be constant. But if this elasticity is 1, then it becomes our Cobb-Douglas production function, where the elasticity is equal to 1. This is also an isocont where we can say both labor and capital are perfect substitutes. So here the elasticity of substitution is perfectly elastic, and thus the isocont is a straight line. So here elasticity of substitution is equal to infinity. And lastly, when you speak about complementary inputs, what is complementary inputs? That is, labor and capital, they need to be used in certain fixed proportion. If you increase only capital without increasing labor, then that increased capital is of no use. Similarly, if you increase only labor without increasing capital, then the increased labor is also of no use. So here you need to increase both the inputs, only then you can produce, and that is what is called as complementary inputs, where two inputs are used together to produce an output. So here this is the case. So this type of isoconts are having L shape. So when this is the case, what happens? It is not possible for us to substitute labor and capital. A right angled isocont indicates that the inputs are not substitutes but are used in fixed proportions. Here the elasticity is equal to 0. So these are the different types of constant elasticity of substitution production function, where the Cobb-Douglas production function is a special case of CES, and this particular production function, which is showing complementary inputs, is also called as Leontief production function, and this is also one of the special case of constant elasticity of substitution production function. If you remember, in the introduction slide, I had read out one line from the paper which was written by Solow, Minas, Arrow and Chenery, and that was, they said that at that time the elasticity value was conveniently shown as 0 or 1, but it was these four economists who showed that the elasticity of substitution can remain constant, but not with only the unitary elasticity. It can have any value apart from 1 and still the substitution may be constant. This is what is about constant elasticity of substitution. Now coming to the main point, why it is called as constant. So CES production function exhibits constant returns to the scale, the proof of that. So what is the proof? So when you speak about returns to scale, when you speak about returns to scale, what it means, if an output is produced with the help of labor and capital, if you increase labor and capital by 10% and output also increases by 10%, then it is called as constant returns to scale. So we will have a proof of this particular statement. So let us say this is our constant elasticity of substitution production function. So here let K and L inputs be increased by a positive number M. So here I am saying a positive number M. So in terms of numbers, I can say, let us say it is 5. So if you increase the amount of capital and labor by 5 units. So here you can see quantity is a function of capital and labor, and you are increasing capital and labor by 5 units. So here in this it was delta K, and here it was 1 minus delta L. Now the change you can see is K is increased by M times and L also is increased by M times. So in our case, let us say by 5 units of K and 5 units of L has been increased. So now what we can do is, this M and this M is common inside the bracket. So what I can do is, this M raised to minus P, I can pull it out along with the whole raised to 1 minus P. So how the equation will be like? So in this M and this M, I have brought it out along with its exponent minus P, and the whole, this exponent raised to minus 1 by P. So this thing M raised to minus P, M raised to minus P, I have brought it outside. So it has become M raised to minus P and the whole raised to 1 minus P. This can be factored out. Then we have Q is equal to lambda M raised to minus P raised to minus 1 by P and the entire CES production function. So this is telling us that the inputs have been increased by M times, and similarly the output has also increased by M times. The proof of this is, friends, so if this is the case where Q is equal to M raised to minus rho, the whole raised to minus 1 by rho. So if I say our M is phi and our rho is let us say minus 1, then what it shows is, this will show that phi u raised to minus 1, the whole raised to minus 1 upon 1. So this I can write is phi u raised to minus 1 is 0.2 raised to minus 1. Minus 1 upon 1 is minus 1. So this is equal to phi. So what I had told is, if you increase the inputs by M times, then our output will also increase by M times, and that is what is the proof over here. So friends, in constant elasticity of substitution, as you know, it is a common production function where we are speaking about you can substitute labor and capital to each other, and in such a way that its marginal rate of technical substitution also changes in the same way. Then we are having the constant elasticity of substitution. And when we speak about constant elasticity of substitution, it can be any value except 1. If the value is 1, then we say it is Cobb-Douglas production function. If the value is not 1, but if it is constant, then we say it is constant elasticity of substitution. And if when you are not able to substitute the inputs, then we call such a production function as Leontief production function. So I hope with this it is clear for you all as to what is CES production function. Friends, I know it is not easy to understand this particular production function, but an effort has been made for you all to know how important is the concept of functions, because I started my mathematics classes where we understood about the basics such as what are exponents, then what are polynomials, then what are the different types of we understood about functions and then the different types of functions. So when I was speaking about functions in the class, I just wanted to highlight how important this particular topic functions is just by introducing to you Cobb-Douglas production function, where we understood what exactly a function means. Then I thought of bringing up one more complicated concept, and that is constant elasticity of substitution production function. So here now you may be understanding why I am bringing this particular topics, because I wanted to show you all how important is the concept of function. So actually this will not come so soon. Cobb-Douglas production function, constant elasticity of production function, I will again take it up mathematically by solving certain problems and deriving certain equations when I start my production topic. And in production topic, when I go on for laws of production, and in that when we speak about laws of production, short run law and long run law, there I'll come across this particular topics. And the same thing for your information, again when I'll be starting I already completed my utility analysis, that is cardinal utility analysis. Now I am going to approach indifference curve analysis, that is ordinal utility analysis. So when I speak about indifference curve, there again I will be speaking about utility, and there in that topic I will be coming up with Cobb-Douglas utility function and constant elasticity of substitution utility function. We will solve few problems, and after that when I will start with demand analysis, I will come up with demand function, supply function, and all those things. So this was just a brief introduction about how important is the concept of functions. So I hope it is clear for you all as to how I have started the mathematics series and why I have taken up in between Cobb-Douglas production function and CES production function. To understand these production functions and utility functions and demand functions in a better way, and to know how important these demand functions are, for that particular purpose, friends, in my next class I am coming up with calculus. So next class I will tell what is calculus, what is differentiation, what are derivatives, or in short I will be speaking about differential calculus, what it means, and the rules of differentiation. So till then, as usual, take care, stay happy, and thank you for watching my videos in Understanding Economics with Professor Aftab. I expect the same love from your side. Keep watching my videos. Until my next video, please take care of yourself and stay healthy. Tata, bye bye.